Hi everyone, welcome back to Farrand on Film. Today I am bringing you my reactions and predictions for the 2025 Golden Globe nominations. They were announced earlier today, so I'm just going to work through a list. I'm looking at the Independence article. I'm going to look through the list. I'm going to give you some sort of thoughts on who got nominated and my ultimate sort of predictions on who I think is going to win in the number of different categories. Again, there are some things here, especially with the Golden Globes, where you're wondering why one person is in one topic or one person is in one category. We'll go through it. So we're going to kick off with best performance in a stand-up comedy or television. And the nominations are Jamie Foxx, What Had Happened Was, Nikki Glazer, Someday You'll Die, Seth Meyers, Dad Man Walking, Adam Sandler, Love You, Ali Wong, Single Lady, and Rami Youssef, More Feelings. Now, I have zero input into this. I've not seen any of these stand-up specials. I don't really think that we get them in the UK. If I was to punt, I would say that maybe they might go for someone like an Adam Sandler just to sort of get him on there and on the ceremony, possibly a Jamie Foxx as well. So I feel like that was a bit of a null and void thing to even mention. Let's move into cinematic and box office achievement, which I might be able to sort of discuss a little bit more in depth. So you've got Deadpool and Wolverine. Inside Out 2, Gladiator 2, Wicked, Beetlejuice, and The Wild Robot. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine was essentially a lock for this because it grossed over a billion. Inside Out 2 doing exactly the same. Gladiator 2, I'm surprised is in there, being it gets more nominations somewhere else. Wicked again, similar to Gladiator. Beetlejuice, rightfully so gets a spot in this because it performed much better than anyone expected it to do. So I am glad that it's in there. And I think same with The Wild Robot. If I'm plumping and I'm thinking about which film achieved the most at the box office, that would be Deadpool and Wolverine. Noting that it's a cinematic and a box office achievement, I'm thinking that they're going to go the popular route and they're going to give it to Wicked. Possibly because this is the best film-ish thing that Wicked can win, because I don't think it's going to win the one that it's nominated in later. So I'm saying cinematic and box office achievement is going to go to Wicked. When we move into best performance by an actor in a limited series, anthology series, or a motion picture, TV, whatever it is, made for TV, six nominations here. So you got Colin Farrell in The Penguin, Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer, Kevin Kline, Disclaimer, Cooper Koch in Monsters, the Lionel and Eric Menendez story, Ewan McGregor in Gentleman in Moscow, and Andrew Scott Ripley. Now, from what I hear, Kevin Kline, Ewan McGregor, Andrew Scott, fantastic performances. From what I have seen, Cooper Koch, good performance. I'm not a big fan of Monsters. I'm not a big fan of the Lionel and Eric Menendez story. For me, it was one of those things where I'd seen the first episode and I was a bit like, well, I kind of feel like I know everything that's going to happen now, and I wasn't too fussed about everything else that came after it. Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer. Baby Reindeer was that thing that of last year was a sort of viral spot. It was a big moment that happened and everyone was watching it. But my pick is Colin Farrell in The Penguin. I think I'm glad that he and some of the other cast have gotten mentions in other categories. But I really, really hope that he picks this up. He's absolutely phenomenal as Oswald Cobblepot in The Penguin. And I really, really do hope that he gets the win for this one. If you go into a best performance by an actress in a limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for TV, again, another six here. So you get Jodie Foster, True Detective Night Country, Kate Blanchett for Disclaimer, Sofia Vergara for Griselda, Christina Milioti for The Penguin, Kate Winslet for The Regime, and Naomi Watts for Feud Capote versus the Swans. Kristen Milioti all day long. Like, I don't have anything else to say on that. As Sophia Falcone, absolutely phenomenal. Probably the best performance that I have seen film and TV all year. She needs to win this. This needs to be hers to go. And I know that she's in there against people like a Naomi Watts, a Kate Winslet, Kate Blanchett, Jodie Foster, Sofia Vergara, like real heavyweights in terms of TV. But this Kristen Milioti, this is hers. Please, please, please let it be her. When you get into Best TV Limited Series, your nominations are Baby Reindeer, Disclaimer, Monsters, The Penguin, Ripley, and True Detective Night Country. Now, at the Emmys, Baby Reindeer kind of swept everything, but this was before Penguin was allowed to be nominated and was in that sort of nomination window. So that's where Penguins come into it. My heart goes to Penguin because I enjoyed it the most out of the ones that are on there. My head goes Baby Reindeer purely because at that point they've been able, if my predictions come off, they've been able to reward the actors for the Penguin, but then reward the series of Baby Reindeer. So I think that is where that one might go. Then we get into Best Supporting Actor for a TV show. You get Tadanobu Asano for Shogun, Javier Bardem for Monsters, Harrison Ford for Shrinking, Jack Lowden for Slow Horses, Diego Luna for La Miquina, and Eben Moss Baccarat for The Burr. Now, Harrison Ford's been nominated before for Shrinking. Jack Lowden, I don't believe has been nominated before for Slow Horses. He's got a very, very sort of prolific performance as Cartwright in Slow Horses. For me, Javier Bardem is the best thing about Monsters. And I wonder if that's where they're going to pump. Evan Moss Baccarat again has been there for the Burr. I'm not too familiar with the Diego Luna performance. Shogun picked up a lot at the Emmys, so I'm sort of inching between whether it's going to be Asano or Bardem. I feel like I'm going to pump more towards Javier Bardem for that one. So Javier Bardem winning that one for Monsters. Best Supporting Actress for a TV series, Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer, Liza Colin-Zayas for The Burr, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Dakota Fanning for Ripley, Alison Janney for The Diplomat, and Callie Reese for True Detective Night Country. Again, of all of these, Gunning won it at the Emmys for Baby Reindeer. There's something about Liza Colin-Zayas that is sticking in my head, mainly because of that specific episode in The Burr season 3 where the focus was on her for the majority, and I'm assuming that is the one that they've submitted for awards consideration for this. So I'm leaning more towards her than I am for Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer. Best performance by an actor in a TV series, musical, or comedy. Adam Brody, Nobody Wants This. Ted Danson, A Man on the Inside. Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building. Jason Segel, Shrinking. Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building. Jeremy Allen White for The Burr. I'm landing on Jeremy Allen White for The Burr. I feel like it's one of these things where they had it a few years ago with like Mad Men. Mad Men won all the time. Modern Family won all the time, and it kind of won the same ones. And all these nomination fields were essentially very, very similar every year, and you get it in one of the other categories in a little bit. I'm landing on Jeremy Allen White. Ted Danson is the other one that I was thinking about, but Ted Danson is getting the Carol G. Barnett Award, so I'm wondering if they're kind of just irking towards. At least he got a nomination on the award season that he's getting that for, and then moving him sort of towards that one. But I'm sticking with Jeremy Allen White for The Burr. Best performance by an actress in a TV series, musical, or comedy. So Catherine Hahn, Agatha All Along, Jean Smart for Hacks, Quinta Bronson for Abbott Elementary, Selena Gomez, Only Murders in the Building, Ayo Adibiri, The Burr, and Kristen Bell, Nobody Wants This. Now, Agatha All Along being in there, Catherine Hahn being in there for Agatha All Along is a very interesting inclusion because from what I have seen, she is great, but the rest of the series doesn't really match up and isn't really sort of on par with her performance. I'm doing the thing again where I feel like I'm playing safe and I'm saying Iowa DeBeery for The Burr because again, she's phenomenal in it, and I hope that is where that one goes. So then coming out of the musical and comedy performances and into best TV series, musical or comedy. So I'm looking at the series specifically now. The nominations are Hacks, Abbott Elementary, Only Murders in the Building, Nobody Wants This, The Gentleman, and The Burr. Again, I aim towards The Burr, but I think Abbott Elementary got it last year. Only Murders seems to be there and seems to always be constantly around and doesn't necessarily win much. I don't think it will get a win until they decide that this is it for the season, and they might just then scoop it around and give it a win. The Gentleman being in there is bizarre anyway, being as it's not popped up at any point up to now. So I'm gonna say The Burr. I think The Burr is the one that's gonna sort of sweep this. Going into the same categories but for drama now. So best performance by an actor. Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent, Gary Oldman Slow Horses, Eddie Redmayne Day the Jackal, Hiroyuki Sanada Shogun, and Billy Bob Thornton Landman. Shogun picked up so much at the Emmys that it makes me want to go for Sanada, but heart over head here, Presumed Innocent was fantastic, and I would love to see Jake Gyllenhaal get this for Presumed Innocent, so I'm going with Jake Gyllenhaal. It was superb. Best performance by an actress in a TV series. Kathy Bates Matlock, Emma Darcy House of the Dragon, Maya Erskine Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Keira Knightley Black Doves, interesting, only just come out on Netflix. Anna Sawai Shogun and Kerry Russell the Diplomat. I've heard so much about Kerry Russell and the Diplomat, which makes me sort of towards her. The Keira Knightley thing is very interesting because Black Devils has literally only just dropped on Netflix. So they're getting that in there. But there's nothing else from what I can see for like Ben Whishaw or anything like that. The series isn't even nominated later on, so I'm going to assume that it's not got that much of a pickup to it. There's something very interesting that I've just seen in a TV series drama that I'm going to pick up in just a second. Um, I'm gonna go with Kerry Russell on this one. I'm gonna go Kerry Russell for the Diplomat on that one, and TV series drama, so we can finally stop Adam talking about the thing that he probably doesn't know too much about. The Day of the Jackal, The Diplomat, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, and Squid Game. So Squid Game, that isn't actually available to the public yet, has already been nominated for Best TV Series Drama, but more importantly, none of the actors were like they were for the last season. Interesting. This one's Shogun's. This one's Shogun's all day long. So I'm just going to move past that one. Now we're into the film categories where I have a little bit more of an educated guess and I have a little bit more of a sort of informed response. Best Original Song, Motion Picture, The Last Showgirl, Beautiful That Way, Challenges, Compress, Repress, Amelia Perez, El Mal, Better Man, Forbidden Road, The Wild Robot, Kiss the Sky, and Amelia Perez, Mi Camino. Now, the fact that there are two Amelia Perez nominations in there make you sort of go, right, well, one of them is going to be the one that wins it. The sort of celebrity vote there is for Better Man, is for Robbie Williams. The fact that they've got him nominated for Forbidden Road. I love Challenges. I love the Challenges soundtrack. At the minute, as I say this to you, is my favorite film of the year. It's my favorite soundtrack of the year. Compress Repress isn't exactly a standout thing that's on there, so I'm not necessarily wondering that it's going to go to that. I'm going to say it's going to be either one of the Amelia Perez songs, possibly El Mal, because that is the one that seems to be picking up the most traction. So I'm going to say El Mal from Amelia Perez for that one. Best Original Score, Motion Picture, The Brutalist, Challengers, Conclave, June Part 2, Amelia Perez, and The Wild Robot. There was a lot of talk about whether or not Hans Zimmer was going to be able to be eligible for the Oscars for his score for June Part 2 because it uses part of the soundtrack from the first film, which is against the eligibility rules. Now, whether or not this is an indication that he's okay to be nominated for the Oscars, who knows? Whether it's just the Golden Globes going, we don't care and we'll nominate him anyway, is another thing. Of those, like I've already mentioned, my favorite score from this year is Challengers, so I'm going to say Challengers for Best Original Score, although I can imagine something like The Brutalist actually getting it. Best Screenplay, Motion Picture, Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, and The Substance. Now, off the top of my head, just to give credit where credit is due, that would be Sean Baker for Anora. That would be Brady Corbett, and apologies to his writing partner for The Brutalist. They aren't on this article, which is not helpful at all. It's not Edward Berger for Conclave. It's Coralie Fajar for The Substance, and it's Jesse Eisenberg for A Real Pain. Apologies to the others for missing those out. Of the screenplays, see, A Real Pain looks to be a film where the screenplay is going to be real indicative of how the quality of the film. I think every now and what I mean by that is every now and again you get a film where I was going to say the word quirky, and I hate using the word quirky, but it's essentially it's an independent comedy with a very, very strong script that is quite low budget, obviously because it's an independent comedy. Something like a Holdovers, where it's more known for the script than it is its direction or anything else, which makes me err towards A Real Pain. So I'm going to stick with that, and I'm going to say A Real Pain. So I'm going to say Jesse Eisenberg's getting this for A Real Pain. When we move up to Best Director for a Motion Picture, excuse me, Jack O'Dur for Amelia Perez, Sean Baker for Nora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, Edward Berger for Conclave, Coralie Fajar for The Substance, and Peo Kapadia for All We Imagine as Light. The Brutalist is the one that people are talking about. The Brutalist is the one that people are assuming is going to get an Adrian Brody actor win, possibly a picture win, on its near 4 hour runtime. Sean Baker for Honora, though, is one that is picking up speed and is picking up traction. I'm going to go Sean Baker for Honora. I think it might pick up speed over the next few weeks. A lot of these films, quite frustrating for us in the UK, a lot of these films still haven't yet been released. Honora has, but I've just not got around to it yet. But we've not got The Brutalist yet. And Amelia Perez, I believe, is on Netflix. Performance by an actor in a supporting role, motion picture, Denzel Washington, Gladiator 2, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice, Yura Borisov, Honora, and Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown. I mean, other than the succession battle that's going on there between Kendall Roy and Roman Roy, this is Denzel Washington's. Surely this is the one that people have been aiming towards and saying that he's going to get it. So let's stick let's stick the landing and say Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2. Best performance by an actress in a supporting role. Interesting one here. Ariana Grande, Wicked, Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Selena Gomez, Emilia Perez, Margaret Qualley for The Substance, and Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. I hear fantastic things about Isabella Rossellini in Conclave. Margaret Qualley for The Substance getting in there is a fantastic shout. I'm glad that she got in there. As much as I have issues with The Substance, I think it was fine. I don't think it was amazing like everyone it says. I think her and Demi Moore are the best things in it. So I'm glad that they got nominated. Selena Gomez and Zoe Saldana being in there and sort of battling out for the Emilia Perez vote is very interesting as well. The other one, just to mention, is the fact that Ariana Grande is in supporting actress for Wicked and Cynthia Erivo, spoiler alert, is in best actress for Wicked. I'd read something that they were apparently pitching together for them both to land in supporting actress. So it's quite interesting that it's gone this way. Again, whether that's a Golden Globe thing and they just go, oh, stuff that we don't care about your rules, we'll put them wherever. Um, it's an interesting one. My head is looking towards Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, being as the traction that film is picking up. So I'm going to land there. I'm going to say Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. Best motion picture, non-English language. All We Imagine Is Light from India. Emilia Perez from France. The Girl with a Needle, Denmark. I'm Still Here, Brazil. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Germany. And Vermiglio, Italy. I'm going to land on Emilia Perez for this one. Out of the lot, out of the ones that are there, it seems to be the one that sticks out like a sore thumb, especially when it's picking up nominations everywhere else. Best motion picture animated: Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Moana 2, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. Now, Head says don't bet against Pixar, so don't bet against Inside Out 2. Then it says don't bet against Disney, so don't bet against Moana 2. Then it says, oh, but Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. Yeah, why not? No, I think this is The Wild Robots. I think The Wild Robot has had such a groundswell of support from the audience and from the critics, and that it's possibly going to be the most successful film to come out of that studio in a very, very long time. And I think this is it. I think Wild Robot is going to land this one for best motion picture animated. Into the actor and actress categories now for motion picture, musical, or comedy. Now, bear with me as we go through the list of films that you're about to hear that this year the Hollywood Foreign Press are associating with the terms musical and/or comedy. Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain. Tick, we'll give you that one. Gabrielle LaBelle, Saturday Night. Tick, we'll give you that one. Jesse Plemons, Kinds of Kindness. Fine, yeah, go on then, have that one. Glenn Powell, Hitman. Yeah, it was funny. Sebastian Stan, A Different Man. Okay, probably more dramatic than it is comedic. Hugh Grant for Heretic. In what sense is that a musical or a comedy? Hugh Grant in a horror film, and you've put it in musical or comedy? Whatever. Jesse Eisenberg. Go on, he can have two. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Well, let's do the same on this one. Amy Adams, Night Bitch. I've heard it's quite funny. Cynthia Erivo, Wicked, definitely a musical. Carla Sofia Gascon, Emilia Perez, definitely a musical. Mikey Madison and Nora, comedic elements to it. She's the front runner for the best actress this year. The two that I do not understand. Demi Moore for The Substance. Best musical or comedy. I get that there were moments where, you might have had an uncomfortable laugh toward yourself. But again, it's a horror film. Substance, musical or comedy. Zendaya, Challengers. Challengers? Musical or comedy? No. They're on their ass. It's Mikey Madison's, but these guys don't know what they're doing. Best motion picture, comedy or musical. So again, you know the ones that are going to pop up. Honora, Challengers, Emilia Perez, A Real Pain, The Substance, Wicked. Honora's getting this one so that Wicked can get the cinematic and box office achievement one later. Challengers being in a musical or comedy, Substance being in a musical or comedy, they're on their ass. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Oh, I mean, who knows what might come up here, eh? The Wild Robot, Adrian Brody, The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig for Queer, Carmen Domingo, Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes, Conclave, Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. That's Sebastian Stan's second nomination for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture. His other one coming in musical or comedy from earlier. This one is tough because Adrian Brody, like I mentioned before, has the sort of groundswell behind him for The Brutalist. Daniel Craig is also getting a lot of nominations and a lot of mentions for for his performance in Queer. It's going to be Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. I feel like that's just the way that it's going to go. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama: Angelina Jolie for Maria, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door, Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, Pamela Anderson, The Last Showgirl, and Kate Winslet for Lee. Nick, I was going to say Nicole Kidman, Angelina Jolie for Maria. Again, that is the one where between her and Mikey Madison, they're the two that are sort of battling it out for Best Actress this year. So I'm going to land on Angelina Jolie for this one. And the final category, Best Motion Picture Drama: The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, and then three films that one of them has been mentioned elsewhere, but the other two haven't. So it's quite surprising that they've just sort of landed in a motion picture drama spot. Dune Part 2 got its score nomination from earlier. Nickel Boys, no nomination for that anywhere else. And September 5, no nomination for that anywhere else. Again, I feel like that one's going to go to The Brutalist. I feel like The Brutalist is the drama pick for this year with Adrian Brody, with its runtime, to be honest, and the sort of and the director nods, and possibly even that screenplay nod, unless Jesse Eisenberg can pip it, and unless Sean Baker can pip director. But that's it. That's it for the Golden Globe nominations. They're always interesting to read through. It's where they land things in musical or comedy. Like, it's what are you doing with yourselves? Saying that the substance and heretic of musical and comedy, saying challenges the musical or comedy. Anyway, so let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the nominations. Let me know what you think about my predictions. You probably laughed all the way through me trying to scramble through the TV ones because there's so much TV that I haven't seen. Hopefully, I had a little bit more of an educated guess for the film ones. I'm going to do this again, possibly reacting to the winners for the Golden Globes, but definitely when for the Oscar nominations come out. And I am very happy to say that as I sit here and speak to you today, getting in the run up to Christmas, I've pulled the troops together and we're doing some top tens. So coming your way is a top 10 films of the 2000s, top 10 movie monsters, and Ollie the edgelord that he is going to do as a quiz to sort of round off the end of the year. So I'm very much looking forward to bringing them to you. On a final note, I lost a bet. I lost at Mario Kart. So one of my students would like you to go to Instagram and check out Everything Under the Sun Zero to check out his band, even though they're not called that anymore. But I said I'd do it, and this is me doing it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe, look after each other, and I will see you next time.